welcome everyone. More people are coming, so we'll keep letting them in through the virtual door. I'll hand you over now to Raj Tulsiani, co-founder of Race Equality Matters. Hello, Raj.
A very big welcome. Thank you, Javed. And you'll notice I'm wearing the green ribbon for mental health, which was the campaign that Javed started before he co-founded Race Equality Matters. So I'm Raj, I'm the Chief Executive of Green Park and the co-founder and chair of Race Equality Matters. I'm today joined by my Race Equality Matters co-founder, Javed Thomas from the Collaboratory, and some other colleagues, Donna and Anna behind the scenes. Today is all about hearing about Race Equality Week 2023, its impact, and its launch of Race Equality Week 2024. Two of the most consistent pieces of feedback I get is organisations telling us that they need more notice to participate in Race Equality Week, and organisations who use the free products telling us that they've got no budget to spend on racial equality or intersectional advancement. So I'm quite happy to deal with both of those. Put it in your diary. 5th to the 11th of February is next year's Race Equality Week. It may feel like a long way off, but for those of you with children or significant others will know time flies in a flash. Also, please, do us a favour on the socials, take some photos or screenshots of this screen and share it on your social media platforms or with your networks. Try and get it in people's diaries as well. Like all of our events, and due to popular demand, it will be interactive and collaborative. And we are here to help each other. We're here for a purpose, and I appreciate everyone giving their time to come along and give support to what we're trying to achieve here. We're delighted to see the numbers grow steadily. We're expecting quite a few new faces today. We're expecting around 150 organisations to turn up from the 500 who said they would in the UK and beyond. So from Andover to Aberdeen, Liverpool, who I think are going to sneak forth to Leicester, Milton Keynes to Munich, and Reading to Mississippi. So for the lady in Scotland, I think that our friend from Mississippi turns up. That will be the furthest away for us today. But as you'll all know, after a few years of COVID, there's a little bit of housekeeping. We acknowledge and continue to look to help make our events more accessible. A closed captioning is enabled in the main screen. We've been recommended a solution for virtual breakout rooms. There's a link in the chat there, so you can use them in your own organisations. If you feel uncomfortable joining a breakout session, then of course, please don't. The event is being recorded. The breakout sessions will not be, and will be available for us all to access later along with the slides. Your sound will be auto-disabled in the main room, so please do share ideas and questions and comments in the chat, and we'll do our best to respond. The chat is likely to be quite busy following each virtual breakout session, so heads up in case you need to switch it off or use accessible tools to manage that for yourself. Please tweet and use social media content during and after the event to help us grow our reach and ultimately help inform the community of change makers who invest their time in this. So the purpose of today's event, as I mentioned, is to share insights into Race Equality Week 2023 and to get you thinking and perhaps even doing some planning for what you might do in Race Equality Week 2024. We're also looking for input into helping co-create and shape Race Equality Week 2024. Over the next action-packed hour and a quarter, frankly, that sounds a long time, you'll get to participate in some polls so we can gather your insight, find out who's in the room, what the live temperature is, what's working, what's not working in the organisation. You'll hear off the press about some insights from Race Equality Week, and then you'll hear from some fantastic speakers. We're privileged to have Mark Lomas from Lloyd's of London here. Mark is accepted as one of the most proactive activists and effective D&I and talent leaders in Europe. We have Nitu and Anita joining us from the Social Care Institute for Excellence and Heathrow. And we've got some virtual collaboration groups, so you can exchange some ideas. It should be a safe environment. So please do talk about your lived experiences or things that make an impact with the peers in those rooms. And as we often do, a little curveball, we'll be sharing a concept for a new solution with you to reality test it in real time. And we will finish on the button at 1:45. So just in case you're new to Race Equality Matters, here's a whistle-stop introduction. We exist to enable impactful change by providing free tools, support and resources for race networks, allies and other change makers in organisations across the country and beyond. The team have created 6 impactful solutions in collaborations with those with lived experience of improving race equality. So we are all about stuff that you can do that makes a difference. We're not here to preach, we're not here to get corporate brownie points, we're not here to position something that we can't do. We're just really straightforward. We run Race Equality Week, which is the reason we're all here today, in a place for pause and reflection, to hold organisations accountable. We help others run Safe Space, which for those who've used the previous one successfully, there is a new iteration coming soon. But that ultimately is a guided conversation between those with lived experience in leadership to create a safe space to actually deal with what's actually the problem. Many of you will know the Big Promise, which is all about turning words into actions, and Tea Break, which was co-created with some fantastic help from Network Rail's Cultural Fusion Network, which again creates another mechanism for actually dealing with these issues without it becoming career limiting or threatening to the people who take on this responsibility, often with no support and for no pay. So Tea Break is also a framework for an organisation-wide theme discussion, which enables you to hear the honest voice and feelings of your colleagues across the organisation about the issues that matter most in a structured environment. So you can all say, if it's great, it's your idea. If it's awful, I got it from Race Equality Matters. And finally, many of you may know us from My Name Is, which is all about tackling microaggressions and micro-incivilities by pronouncing people's names correctly. You'll hear more about this later. And last year, we launched a 5-day challenge, which we'll talk about later. But if you haven't done already, please take a look at all of these free resources as we put a link in the chat. All of this would not be possible without the support of our partners. So partners who, alongside my firm Green Park, are funding Race Equality Matters. We want to say a big thank you to all of them, but First Amongst Equals, Lloyd of London, who, along with Green Park, really power Race Equality Week. Also big thanks to Javed and the Collaboratory and our lifetime visionary partner, British Telecom. We've also been really got kind support from Auto Trader, HS2, Edelman and Network Rail, amongst others. So their support means we can run Race Equality Week, and that you, as change makers, allies, or people who just want to see one step go in front of the other in terms of progress within your organisations, can access these resources for free. If you would like to find out more about how we can support past the free resources, or how you can benefit from our reach via marketing and branding opportunities, then please do get in touch. So as we start, tend to start with the poll. I'm 3 minutes behind, so can I have the poll, please?
Thank you all for completing a poll so we can see who's in the room and get a sense of state of the nation in progress for tackling race inequality. So as you can see, we've got more or less a 50% mix here. 51% identifies an ally, and 45% ethnic diverse or appropriate equivalent, and 4% rather not say, which is absolutely fine. Question 2, in your organisation, where do you sit? So 21% of you are senior leaders, 14% HR, 33% D&I professionals, 17% of your race network members, 19% race network leads, and 25% other. So a really good mix of different people and roles in the room. Question 3. Did your organisation participate in Race Equality Week 2023? So 45% of you said yes. So the idea by the end of today's event is we significantly increase that. Question 4. Has your organisation implemented any of the following race equality matters solutions? So top of the list is 30%, so roughly 1 in 3 of you, the 5-day challenge, and then 26% my name is, and then we have 16% safe space and 13% tea break and 13% big promise. 49% of you have done none of them yet or not sure, and again hopefully over the year you'll be engaged to implement at least one of them, as we'll demonstrate the significant impact just implementing one makes, and we will see or hear about my name is later today. Do you feel your senior leaders and managers are committed to tackling race inequality? So 50% say yes. So actually that is going down. We're typically in the 60%. So it's worth watching that. 43% say a little bit, but not enough. And I think that's the group we really have to help up the game. Question 6. In your organisation, of those who are not ethnically diverse, approximately what percentage are tackling race inequality? So as you can see here, 55% say less than a quarter of those who are not ethnically diverse are actually tackling race inequality. So only less than, so the majority believe less than a quarter are making an impact. At the top end, we can see 9% believe 75 to 100% of those who are not ethnically diverse are making an impact, and it'd be great to hear more from them organisations. Question 7. How well do you think your organisation tackles race inequality? Positive seen at the top end, 47% said well or really well. But still the majority, that's 51%, are saying a little, not enough, or not at all. Question 8. With the 3rd year anniversary coming up since the murder of George Floyd, has your organisation made any meaningful progress on the commitments it made to tackle race inequality? Firstly, 5% of organisations made no commitment at all, which is very thought-provoking. 35% say none at all or a little bit but not enough. And there's a further 13% who are saying not sure. We think it's crucial that organisations share with their employees what is changing, what is happening. However, 47% say decent and good progress. So quite a mixed bag here. And we'll continue to review how the organisations across the UK is doing as the months progress. Question 9. How often do you believe microaggressions occur in your organisation? Only 16% say happens rarely. So in effect, that's saying 84% are saying it is happening. And as you can see here, 33% say it happens occasionally, 22% quite often, and then there's 9% says it happens a lot and happens daily. Question 10. How often are racial microaggressions called out by colleagues? So 27% say never or hardly ever, and 31% are saying not sure. So to us, that's 58% are not really seeing or hearing it being called out. 26% say occasionally, and 16% saying quite often and regularly. So that's only 1 in 6 are seeing or hearing it being called out quite often or regularly. I will be talking about microaggressions and a new potential solution you can help co-create with us later in the event today. So thank you all for taking part in the poll. On to the next bit.
So before I hand you over to Javed, our first, let me introduce you to our first speaker. We'd like to share a quick video showcasing what happened with some 2023 highlights. Sam, please play the video.
Sam, it's frozen.
Race equality is everyone's business because it's not the obligation of ethnic minorities to create an inclusive and fair working environment. That's everybody's responsibility. And when an organization, a working environment is inclusive, it benefits everyone. And that's why it's everyone's business.
Racial equality is everyone's business because it is not only the right thing to do, it is in our best interest to do so. When some members of a society are denied equal opportunities or are treated unfairly because of their race, it has a ripple effect that impacts all of us. We all want to live in a society that is fair and just, where everyone has the opportunity to succeed and reach their full potential. By working together to promote race equality, we can create a more inclusive and harmonious society for all of us.
Very big welcome to the opening event for the third Race Equality Week.
Play the role of an equality detective and give all of your people the tools to play that role so that this becomes everyone's business, not just the chief exec or the EDI manager or the HR team or the people with the lived experiences and the people experiencing the disadvantage.
I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
Hi, I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
GI Group Holding is doing the 5-day challenge.
Thanks, Sam. Okay, thank you. As many of you know, Race Equality Matters is all about making an impact. So I want to say a huge thank you to all those that participated in the post-event survey so we could collate and learn from your feedback and make a great impact. So I just want to share some key highlights. So 94% believe race equality, making race equality everyone's business, will make an impact and drive the change we all want to see and indeed feel. So this theme continues. You know, we still got a long way to go. Next slide, please. The good news is that during Race Equality Week, many allies made a commitment to change, which will hopefully mean we will see more active allyship. The top 3 promises that were made by allies during Race Equality Week, and the big promise was to call out and challenge racism, microaggression, learn and proactively act anti-racist, and take action more than just talk about race. So as you can see here, also, next slide, please, sorry. Thank you. 86% of respondents told us that they learned something new during the week, and 90% said Race Equality Week will have an impact on race inequality in their organisation. So as Raj said, there's a lot of new people here today, so that's why we're sort of sharing this data with yourselves. Next slide, please. In a minute, you'll hear from one of those organisations, Michaela, great HR business partner at SCIE, the Social Care Institute for Excellence. She will discuss the 5-day challenge. Next slide. For those new to it, the 5-day challenge was built by the Race Equality Matters community for Race Equality Week 2023 to support the theme, it's everyone's business. In a nutshell, its 5-day challenge is a set of 5 challenges, each take 5 minutes over 5 days. The activities are bite-sized and accessible to maximize colleagues' level of engagement. As I said, it's built by the Race Equality Matters community, and it includes different activities for all colleagues to engage with each day. They include videos, articles, and eye-openers to help your employees reflect and, more importantly, take action to drive race equality. Each daily activity, as I said, is 5 minutes, and there were 5 ready to go download PDFs that can be distributed to your employees or accessed via your organization's employee portal. On the last day, day 5, participants are ready to make a big promise, a meaningful commitment to create change. So I'm delighted to say that our first speaker, Michaela, is going to tell us how they implemented the 5-day challenge and what impact it has. Unfortunately, she's unable to join us at this time today, but kindly allowed us to record an interview with her earlier. As an introduction, SCIE improves the lives of people of all ages by co-producing, sharing, and supporting the use of the best available knowledge and evidence about what works in practice in social care and social work. If we can have the video, please. Thank you.
So for Race Equality Week 2023, we promoted the My Name Is campaign. We sent invitations for the webinars to all the staff, and we promoted the 5-day challenge and the big promise. The whole kind of week in general was actually really brilliant, particularly because we don't currently have the resources to put the time in ourselves, and we don't really have that lived experience either. So to have Race Equality Matters basically provide all of the information and materials that we needed in a really easy to use way, it was just absolutely brilliant. And all of the kind of stuff for social media and things for the intranet as well, just kind of having that ready made so that we could just go in and use it was really, really helpful. So we rolled out the 5-day challenge by promoting it via all staff email in the run up to the week. We put it in our weekly e-bulletin for staff and on our intranet. And then on the week itself, we sent out an email every day with each challenge, and we signposted to the challenges as well via our intranet, so people could do them at their own pace if they wanted. What was really good about the 5-day challenge was that it was bite-sized challenges. That was really helpful for us because people are very pushed for time. But at the same time, the feedback that we had via survey afterwards was very good. People still felt that it was very thought-provoking, it was educational, and people felt that it had both a positive impact both on them and the organisation. In particular, feedback we had was that people felt more confident in calling out racism and being more actively anti-racist, which is brilliant. In terms of specific impact, for instance, we had one employee who is from a minority ethnic background. They don't usually engage with any of our EDI work. I think in the past they felt it was quite tokenistic and maybe not helping to affect any change. But this time they did actually get very engaged. They chose to share their big promise, and they've even offered to be a reverse mentor, which is absolutely brilliant. So in terms of next steps, I think the challenge now is about how we keep that momentum going. So we show that we don't just care about race equality 1 week of the year. So to that end, we've engaged a Black-led consultancy to help us understand what we're currently doing regarding EDI and any gaps we should be considering. They're going to support our leadership team to help identify what inclusive and non-inclusive business practices look like for us. And they're going to help us develop and deliver some training sessions for our staff based on the information gathered during those activities. I think it's important that we had a Black-led consultancy because, I mean, I think there's several reasons that we're not a very diverse organisation. That's something we need to work on. The staff that we do have that are from minority ethnic backgrounds, as I said, I think in the past, they felt that the activities we've done have been a bit tokenistic. They've not been meaningful. They've not helped to affect change. So having just got those people on board with us and hopefully moving things forward, we don't want to then take what could look a step back and get in someone who's not from a minority background and doesn't have that lived experience to bring that lens to the kind of activities that we want to do going forward. We want to show that we are listening to people from minority ethnic backgrounds and acting on what they're suggesting. I think it would be good to have a different version next year, purely because I think people want to continue that learning. I think the structure of it was fantastic, but I think we want to make sure that we continue that learning, so it's not just the same material, if that makes sense.
Thanks. So it's great to hear that the 5-day challenge made so much impact at SCIE, and with over 500 plus other organisations reaching nearly 2 million employees down on the guide, we know and have heard many similar examples of feedback. One key piece of feedback from the Race Equality Week 2023 is that 75% of respondents said they wanted a follow-up version of the 5-day challenge 2024, like Michaela said, to carry on the learning, and you will have a chance in a minute to contribute to its creation. You can still do the 5-day challenge if you didn't participate during Race Equality Week, and we shared the link in the chat. Next slide, please. The topics covered in this year's 5-day challenge were microaggressions, being difference between not racist and anti-racist, broadening your personal and professional networks, the language we use to identify people, inclusive social events, and getting people's names right. And my name is. These topics and the content were created in collaboration with the Race Equality Matters community, and we want you to do the same this year. So next slide. So we'd love you to help shape it. So to let you contribute, we're going to pause just for a minute and ask you to write in the chat any topic or topics you think should be included in the next year's 5-day challenge. So this is an open forum, just put it in there, and then we'll collate it and see what the most common ones were. There's no right or wrong, but this is your chance to suggest the topics that should be focused on next year. Thank you. That's great. So you see some great ones coming through there. So as I said, we'll collate these ideas after and start to develop them soon, and there'll be another chance for many of you to be involved in how we develop it. Before we go into our first virtual discussion group, where you will be sharing what you did for Race Equality Week or ideas for 2024, if you didn't participate, we want to share some of the activity other organizations did during Race Equality Week. So next slide, please. So these are just some that we share with yourself. So 5-day challenge, tea break, people had guest speakers, senior leaders made promises, anti-racism training, reviewed and shared data with employees, awareness raising campaigns. My name is race progress updates, which I think is important to show the progress. So these are just some. But now what we're going to do is give you all the opportunity to get into a breakout group and share your own experiences. So the question is, what did you do during Race Equality Week 2023, or what would be good to do for 2024? We know some of you may feel uncomfortable going to the breakout session, so feel free not to do so if you prefer. And others may want to keep the camera off when you go into the session, and which we support to make you feel as comfortable and as inclusive as possible. If you didn't do Race Equality Week, as I said, you might want to just explore what your organization could do for Race Equality Week 2024. So I said the discussion is, what did you do during Race Equality Week or could do for 2024? We've allowed 7 minutes, so time will go fast. We suggest someone in the room keeps an eye on the time and you don't use up doing introductions. So Sam, if we can do sort of like 17 groups, please, that would be great. And then we'll give you a 1-minute warning. you're aware of it, but try and give everyone a chance to have a say. So yeah, please do go. And if you see any of our speakers joining, they're not there to chair, they're there to listen and learn just like the rest of us. Thank you. Great. Welcome back, everyone. I had a very interesting group. I think half are sort of new to it. One, they did it on their own, their organization, and they're sort of trying to drive it in the organization, and others have done stuff. 5-day challenge landed really well, was the feedback I got. So what'd be really good now is if we can just go in a chat for just 20 seconds, put the ideas or the things your organization did. Again, what we'll do is we'll collate this and then we'll share these with you in a few weeks' time. And this will all be anonymous. But again, it's just good to see what other organizations are doing. And if it's 5-day challenge or one of us, do put that in as well. But if you could just throw in the chat the different things your organization did or what would be good for 2024, please do that. This is your chance to share and have your say. Thank you. Next slide. So we're delighted to introduce a very special guest and a real change maker, as Raj alluded to, Mark Lomas, Head of Culture, Lloyd's of London. If you can unmute yourself, please, Mark. Thank you. Lloyd's is the world's leading insurance and reinsurance marketplace. They are also one of our key partners, and along with Green Park, powered Race Equality Week 2023 and supporting 2024. So thank both them organizations. For those who may not know Mark, he has delivered numerous diversity and inclusion projects in the UK and internationally across a wide variety of different sectors. A multi-award winner and author, having helped the BBC, Law Society, HS2 and Lloyd's of London, name a few, in 2021 was recognised by D&I Leader Company as one of the top 100 global inspirational D&I leaders. So it's great to have him here, and he's been a fantastic ally and support of Race Equality Matters. Mark's going to tell us more about the work Lloyd's are doing around active allyship and recruitment. So the first question we wanted to ask you, Mark, what has Lloyd's been doing to promote active allyship, because it's such a hot topic?
Yeah, it is a hot topic. And for us, we've been doing a range of things. So we have a festival called Dive In, which is a global festival. It's in sort of 40 countries, reaches 35,000 people a year. And this year we're introducing both outreach to ethnically diverse communities and market and global wide mentoring and reverse mentoring program. On top of that, we used a number of the products from Race Equality Week. So my name is the 5-day challenge and the big promise, which is some of those things that we did.
Fantastic. And how's Lloyd's promoting better collection of ethnicity data? And what does the data show about ethnically diverse colleagues in the Lloyd's market?
Well, we built the collection of ethnicity data into our oversight or regulatory framework, and it's a mandatory requirement. We introduced that in 2021, and 61% of firms were recording ethnicity data. In 2022, that is now 94%. So there are only 2 firms that hadn't implemented it yet, and they were on the way. So I'm very hopeful when we report the data next year, it'll be 100%. And what we found is that there's been an increase in ethnically diverse population in the market from 9 to 11%. And even more pleasingly, there's been an increase in ethnically diverse leadership from 5 to 9%. And that's across the whole of the Lloyd's market. So we're talking 54 managing agents, 16 large brokers, hundreds of small brokers. So we're talking about a fairly significant change.
Perfect. And what gets measured gets done, and data is absolutely crucial for progress. So look forward to hearing the 100% hit rate on that, Mark. Your CPO and CEO made big promises. So how much progress has been made there?
Yeah, I mean, good progress actually. So our CPO promised that we would look at how we're promoting ethnic talent, and our Accelerate program for ethnically diverse groups is going really well as building out a talented succession process, which we're now pushing down the organization. Promised to publish our ethnicity pay gap, and we've done that. And also our 1 in 3 hiring target, which we have again rolled out to the entire Lloyd's market, and is responsible for the hire of 1,700 ethnically diverse people in the last year, including Lloyd's corporation itself recruiting a Black board member. We call them council members, but for anyone else, it'd be equivalent to a board. The CEO made a big promise around pay and reward, that we would conduct a quality analysis both on our performance and our pay and bonus cycles, and we've done that, and we're going to improve that process next year. But it was good to identify there were no major issues in the process. And he agreed to do sponsorship of Black talent, and he's been mentoring 2 young Black business owners from the Lloyd's market who created a recruitment company focused on ethnically diverse people called SCIE, who are now rebranding as Equity. And I made a promise, both mentoring and reciprocal mentoring, and I've taken on a number of mentors in the last few years, and also that committed to transparency around our targets and actions and publishing results, and everything is available to look at on our website under our culture dashboard.
Thank you. The big promise was made because of lack of transparency and accountable. So by Mark and the CPO and CEO being public about what they're trying to do, they can be held accountable. And we know once we become public or transparent, we will deliver. It's not just talking about it, they've gone there. So it's great. And we will keep an eye on Mark and his 2 colleagues to see progress being made. Final question. How do you think the insurance sector has engaged with Race Equality Week?
Yeah, really well. I think when we started talking to Race Equality Matters, I think the number of insurance companies was absolutely negligible. So we've seen a 300% kind of increase in the insurance companies engaging with Race Equality Week, and it's just the start. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more participation next year as we drive these tools across the market, because they really are fantastic, practical tools, easy to implement, that every organization can do, and I really do thoroughly recommend it.
Thank you. And that's why it's important. We're looking for people like Mark and Lloyd to be change makers. So, as the insurance sector, huge sector, lack of engagement initially can help drive it. So again, if you're out there and you want to help drive your sector, please do get in touch. There's a model we can follow. So thank you, Mark. I'm now going to introduce you to our final expert speaker before you yourselves have another chance to collaborate. Anita Trigar. Please unmute yourself, Anita. So Anita is the strategic partnerships manager at Heathrow Airport, the UK's biggest airport, serving hundreds of destinations across the world. When she's not engaging with external stakeholders, she's focusing on internal engagement by leading Heathrow's diversity network for culture and ethnicity called Enhance, ENHANCE. And it's all about building a more inclusive environment for a very, very diverse workforce, and obviously a very diverse community coming in as well. So welcome, Anita. Mine there's an airplane just behind you, so be careful. So Anita, first question. Heathrow Airport carried out lots of activity during Race Equality Week, which was fantastic to see. We saw on social media and everywhere else. Why do you think Race Equality Week is important?
I think Race Equality Week is just this all-encompassing, tangible, inclusive approach to ending racial inequality that I think people can get behind, and it's really inclusive in the sense of everyone can play a part in it. And I think it's just a really obvious kind of cause that we're going after. And I think that's why it's so important, because there's just so many different ways that you can really campaign behind it and get people involved to make that change and take action.
And that's one of the key things it was created for us to unite or give organizations the tool to help unite colleagues. What did Heathrow Airport actually do during the week?
Well, firstly, we actually turned Race Equality Week into Race Equality Month. So we made that decision because we just wanted to do so much and bring so many people into play in our campaigning that we needed that month to stretch out all of our activities. So our main event that we did was the Race Equality Matters event, and that was attended by our CEO and our C-suite members and many colleagues from across the business, where we actually featured a guest speaker who is a BAFTA-winning filmmaker, historian, and author, Professor David Olusoga, who actually came in and spoke about the historical racial inequalities and their impact on society today, which was really enlightening. And then that was followed by a panel of colleagues that we had from Heathrow who talked about their lived experiences of being mixed race, mixed heritage, mixed faith, because we felt it was really important to spotlight those experiences in a way that we hadn't done before. And then that was followed up with our very first Fusion Festival, where we had a spread of food from around the world. And then we also had some African drummers come and provide some very interactive entertainment, which was really, really great and nice to have everyone kind of come together again after COVID and things like that. But that's not all we did. We also held some webinars to spotlight intersectionality. So we had one where we collaborated with our Proud network, the LGBTQ+ community network, and we had a colleague come and talk about his experiences of being gay and from a Muslim background. And then we also had another health webinar where we had the Michaela Foundation come along and talk about prostate cancer in ethnic minority communities. So we did those things. And then we also launched the My Name Is campaign. So we kind of tested the waters with that last year, just amongst the network. But this year we went big and we launched it across the business and really did a lot of work behind promoting it and getting people to consider adding phonetic spellings to their email signatures and elsewhere. And then one thing we knew we had to do to emphasize this campaign was spotlight our colleagues' experiences of their relationship with their names and having them mispronounced. So we had our content creator, Izzy Ahmed, create a series of videos featuring our colleagues, which we released throughout the month. And I believe we're going to share one now.
Brilliant, thank you. Sam, could we play the video?
People have called me Aid, AD, or Addy.
There are several mispronunciations of my name, including Raman, Raman, and people have shortened it to Ram.
So my first name, Adeyinka, means surrounded by crowns, and my surname, Babatunde, means the father has returned.
My name is Ramanjit Kaur Daliwal. I come from a Punjabi background and follow the Sikh faith. My name translates to Victory of Beloved, which is a unisex Sikh name. I have a middle name, Kaur, which means princess.
My name is Yoruba, Nigerian. If somebody says my name, right, they're speaking a blessing over me by telling me I'm surrounded by crowns. But if you mispronounce my name, then you're not speaking that blessing over me.
In an effort to erase the marker of caste in the Sikh community, our Guru called for all Sikh women to keep the surname Kaur and Sikh men the surname Singh.
If somebody asks me how to pronounce my name, I prefer it because it means that they're taking the time out to learn.
When people mispronounce my name, I feel very bad correcting them. I don't like people feeling awkward. At the same time, it takes a toll on myself and can be quite exhausting, not having people pronounce your name correctly.
Right, but if I've told them what my name is and then they mispronounce it, that's when it's more irritating because you're not paying attention to it and it's like you almost don't care, or you might find it difficult, but you're not taking the time out to really learn it and understand how it's supposed to be pronounced.
When someone pronounces my name correctly, I feel valued. I feel like I'm a member of the team, community, wherever I am, and feel respected.
My name is Adeyinka Babatunde.
My name is Ramanjit Kaur Daliwal.
Anita, thank you for sharing. Please pass on thanks to your colleagues. And I know there's 2 other videos as well, which are really inspiring. So very kind. I think, yeah, we can share it with the community as well if they want to have access to it. Thank you. So one final question, the most important question to me is, how has Race Equality Week made a difference?
So I think this was just pivotal for us. It was a real turning point in the business. I think with the My Name Is campaign, there were so many colleagues who truly felt seen and heard. When we have a colleague workforce demographic where almost roughly half of us come from Black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds, I think so many resonated with the videos and then saw the solution as a really great empowering moment for them. I think some colleagues even realized like they had just let things slide so much, having their names mispronounced, but this campaign really gave them that power back to go, no, this is my name and this is what it means to me, pronounce it correctly. And then as for our significant event that we had and all of our webinars, I think it really opened the eyes up to many colleagues in our business around the everyday inequalities that many people face, just things like buying a property or trying to find a suitable name for your child. These were the kind of things that were coming out and really resonating with our members and our colleagues. And I think it's really just it's kind of sparked so many more ideas and more opportunities and being unlocked, and our senior leaders really showing up and giving the time and space to talk about this and continue to raise awareness. So it's kind of almost snowballed into something that everyone is doing, to the point where actually earlier this year I was invited to speak at an international aviation conference about diversity in aviation, where I got to talk about many of these things. And just a few years ago, I don't think this would have been a topic on at a conference like that. So I feel like there's definitely movement in the right direction thanks to this.
Brilliant. You're starting to, and thank your network colleagues as well, because we know it's a community thing. But thanks, tons for sharing. Very inspiring. So and yeah, keep in touch. Next slide. So now we're going to move on to our final discussion group, and this is an exclusive opportunity, an opportunity for you to help co-create a new solution. So we'd like to explore an idea with you. So it's not final. This is just an idea. And as you know, Race Equality Matters DNA is all about the co-creation of solutions to tackle the issues that many in the room today and your colleagues will face. Next slide. From our research 3 years ago, 95% of those we interviewed experienced racial microaggressions, and a similar number witnessed others experiencing it too. 3 years on, microaggressions are still one of the most discussed issues the community faces, often daily. In a poll last year, the figure is still an unacceptable high of 83% experience it. Next slide, please. It is a hot topic that organizations have told us they discussed during the tea break sessions. And it was the top big promise commitment that allies made during Race Equality Week. As mentioned earlier, 89% of allies said they would call out and challenge them. But the challenge for many allies is that they feel they don't know what to say or what to do, or don't know how to intervene, or are uncomfortable in challenging. And often this leads to no action. We often ask if we do training on this. So we want to explore a concept with you called "You Can't Say That." Next slide, please. This is when allies can become active allies. We would like to pose a question. Next slide, please. When you hear anything inappropriate, for example, where you're really from, your name is hard to pronounce, I don't see color, you people, you speak good English, you know, the list will go on and on. What do you do? Next slide, please. So do you speak to the person who may have been offended later? Do you speak to the person who said it later? Or do you call it out in the moment it happens? Or do you speak to colleagues afterwards asking what they thought? Or do you ignore it? This is one of the eye-openers from a 5-day challenge. So we know there's a lot of good intent, but often there is little meaningful action or the appropriate action. We know it's difficult when it's something new to deal with. It's difficult when many of us do not like or avoid potential confrontation. But we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable to enable change to happen. The majority of us will not do anything in the moment, but in the moment is key. People may not feel comfortable, don't want to be seen as an outlier, or not want to rock the boat. Therefore, the majority are bystanders, and this is not being anti-racist. Anti-racists are different. They will speak up when something is not acceptable. I'm sorry, that is not acceptable. I don't think it's okay to say that. I'm sorry you can't say that. We need to skill ourselves up to get used to calling it out, feel comfortable with it, and then make it the normal. Let's put it into context. Next slide. From our research to meaningfully tackling race inequality, the person at the receiving end of the comment or the person being excluded isn't the one who should be speaking up. It doesn't work. The peer group, who may also feel the pain or impact of what's been said to someone, again, it's not for them to speak up. It doesn't really work. For significant and meaningful and culture change to happen, it's for an ally to become an active ally to speak up. So the idea behind You Can't Say That solution is that if it's launched in organizations across the UK, the concept is that when someone hears something inappropriate, a microaggression in your organization, they would say a phrase that indicates it's not okay. For example, that phrase could be, as you can see on the screen, you can't say that, not okay. It's not okay to say that. It's not appropriate to say that. It might not be appropriate to say that. What do you mean by that? The extreme end, or you know, or you may wish to choose your own words. So then if you and a colleague heard that phrase, someone else saying it's not okay or you can't say that, it should prompt you and them to reflect what's just been said. So by choosing the wording that works for you, whenever the need arises, you can say these simple but powerful words in a calm, composed, and assertive way. Like anything else, it takes time to practice it. So the words become natural and part of our everyday language. So it'll be easy to say then, as and whenever we need it, we can just go straight to it. We don't pause, we don't get stuck, we don't ignore what needs to be said. We would now like you to go to small breakout sessions and share your thoughts with each other about the concept, about calling it out with a phrase that we, the organization accepts. You'd have about 8 minutes and we'll give a 1-minute warning. Again, we know some of you may feel uncomfortable going to breakout sessions, so please feel free to stay out here and you can put something maybe in the chat. And others may want to go into the chat and have their camera off, so please do that. So the question to go in the chat, what do you think about the concept of you can't say that? Will that help tackle microaggressions in your organizations? So Sam, if we can put people into the groups, about 13 groups will be great, thank you. Brilliant. So my group again was a really rich group in thoughts and ideas and lots of different perspectives, but yeah, really clear about the potential. What would be quite good is if you could just put your thoughts and ideas in the chat about the concept and everything. If you just type it out, and I know some people said that it'll work in this case, or we need to do this, or the importance of it. Just anything is free text. We'll just capture this because it'll help us design the solution forward to make sure that we've taken on everyone's different perspectives, because we know we've got D&I leads here, race network leads here, scene leaders, allies, people that are experiencing microaggressions all the time. So if you could just throw that in the chat, that'd be fantastic. And there's no right or wrong answers there. We just want to get the community's input into that. Thank you. Okay, so what we'll do now is, I'll give another 10-15 seconds. We'll pop a final poll. It's really important you can help us with this poll because it does ask about this concept, so we can get a sense of what do people think about it. Because if you all buy into something, we can do something. If actually the majority of us don't, then we don't. So this is your chance to have a real say on it. And I say all this is anonymous as well. So if we can release the poll, Sam, that'd be fantastic. Once again, thank you all for contributing to the poll. It really helps us learn how our events are helping, how we can make them better, and also helps us create future solutions to support you all. So question 1. Fantastic to see that 96% of you would recommend today's event to others. So a big thank you to our wonderful speakers who shared their insights and expertise. Question 2, which of the following did you find helpful? So 88% found the speakers really helpful, 67% discussion groups. So we'd like to hear or understand more how we can make them more impactful. And then 76% found exploring a new solution helpful. So thank you all for that. And no one didn't find anything helpful. Question 3. Do you think your organisation will take part in Race Equality Week 2024? So a fantastic 71% saying yes. And that's up from 45% in the poll earlier when we said, did you take part in 2023? And then there's a further 26% saying it's not my decision. So we do appreciate you can't decide. But no one here today is saying they won't take part in Race Equality Week. Question 4. Do you think Race Equality Week will help make an impact on tackling race inequality in your organisation? So looking at a catalyst for change a great deal and significantly, so you're helping create change. It's a fantastic 78% say yes. 22% say a little and no one says not at all. So as you heard from the speakers today, it really does make a difference. Question 5. Why do you think colleagues don't intervene when they see or hear something inappropriate being said to an ethnically diverse colleague? So 1 in 5 of us, that's 22%, believe it's not their problem, and 10% say they don't care. I think the next 3 stats are a key factor. So 59% don't know how to, 69% say they don't know what to say if they want to intervene, and then 77% say they lack confidence and courage. Hence why we're looking at the concept, you can't say that. 39% also say they don't want to stand out, and then 42% fear of consequence from employer or manager. So that's quite high. So nearly half in the room have a fear of consequence if they call it out. And that's something we'd really need to look into. And we know a lot of organisations say they have zero tolerance to racism and microaggression. So it'd be really interesting to know why, if you've got zero tolerance, colleagues are still fearful of calling it out. Question 6. Which of these phrases could work for the Can't Say That campaign? So 40% say you can't say that. And I think we heard the understanding that it could feel a bit harsh. And we understand that. But the highest one here, and it's sort of like created as a question. So when someone says something maybe inappropriate, is to say, what do you mean by that? So I guess giving them a chance to think, reflect, correct what they were saying, or explain what they were saying, because maybe we were misinterpreting it. 48% say it's not okay to say that, and then 39% it's not appropriate to say that. And roughly a quarter said it might not be appropriate to say that, and then about a quarter, 26%, saying people maybe want to use their own words. So we will build from this. It looks like we haven't got the right phrase yet, but it's something we, with yourselves, can look to create the right way forward. Which leads us on to question 7. Do you think you can't say that campaign would work best if we had a choice of different phrases to suit what you prefer? So that's 54%, or have one phrase that we all use, and it's 33%. So it looks like maybe having a choice that we can, I guess, use the language and the phrase that we're most comfortable with, which I guess will tackle the lack of confidence question we had earlier. Question 8. Do you think the You Can't Say That campaign would help tackle race inequality in your organisation? So this is why we build solutions. So 73% saying yes, only 8% say no. And we appreciate 90% not sure, so maybe they want to hear more or see what it gets in the end. But 73% is really high for a concept being developed that you believe You Can't Say That would help tackle race inequality in your organisation. Question 9. Do you think microaggressions should be called macroaggressions? Because we know the impact they have on people is not small. So 34% saying yes and 14% saying no. And then 22% not sure the difference, and 29% say not sure. But you could look at it sort of like more than double think yes. And again, it's something that we'll look at further down the line. Question 10. Please indicate which may be of interest. So 49% applying to be a trailblazer. So yeah, we'll be in touch with you that soon. And 37% posting jobs on the job board. And we got 16% of you applying to be a Race Equality Matter Trailblazer Judge. So we've got a new wave in the autumn, and we'll be in touch with you soon. So thank you all for this. You'll be hearing about macroaggressions, and You Can't Say That, and more about Race Equality Week in the coming months. So thank you all. I've gone back to the top, Raj, sorry.
Okay, we'll put the other three and let's wrap up from things to do with their days. Okay. We will share this, and I'd like to say a huge thank you to our partners and sponsors for everything they do. If your organisation would like to donate, sponsor, or help with becoming a sponsorship partner, please do get in touch. We are not for profit, and do help us, do support us if you think that what we're doing is valuable. I want to specifically say a big thank you to the organisations that have donated recently. We know the end results that we get today often start with race networks recommending us for donations or introducing us to people who have got the will to do something, but have more access to the skills to create impact. And of course, a huge thank you to today's wonderful expert speakers, Michaela, Mark and Anita. Do sign up to our website if you haven't registered already, so you can stay up to date. I'm trying to get a few more people to sign up to our LinkedIn and support us on LinkedIn. It's a good way of getting our messages out to allies and people within your organisation, to let them know that Race Equality Week isn't just a week, as some of our speakers have already mentioned. But thank you ever so much. We look forward to you being in touch. And Javid and the team, thanks ever so much for putting together such a full agenda. We've got to...
Brilliant. Thank you all. Thanks all. We'll be in touch soon with a follow-up email, and the video and excerpts from the video will be available in a couple of weeks' time. Drop a line at info@raceequalitymatters.com if you've got any questions or thoughts, and we will come back to you with what happens next with this concept and the 5-day challenge. So thank you all. Have a good afternoon and see you soon. Anita or Mark, if you have to go, please feel free to go. If you can hang around 5 minutes, that'd be fantastic too. Bye everyone else. Thank you.